This is a story of how I died. No, I'm just playing. Well, kind of playing. Okay, this is a story of how my light slowly faded. Let's start at the very beginning. 2nd grade. That was the first time it happened. I was so young and happy, the brightest smile you've ever seen. Then one day, it happened. My light slightly dimmed after this. I heard it in the back of my mind. It was in the tiniest voice, but I still heard it quite clearly. Maybe life would be better if I died. I don't remember why this thought came to be, but I remember it. But it's only a one-time thing, right? I'll be fine, right? Now that I think about it, it's quite concerning to be 8 years old and wanting to die. Fast forward a few years. 5th grade. Tired. I remember being really tired. This was the first time I looked at my jump rope and wanted to use it for pain instead of pleasure. The first time my smile was forced for something other than taking pictures. The first time I heard that voice in my head since 2nd grade whisper negative things. My light dimmed even more after that happened. It only got worse from there. 6th grade. This was the year everything started to go downhill. The voices got louder and I started thinking maybe I should listen to them. This was the first time I tied that knot. The first time I went swimming and didn't try and come up for air. The first time I took far too many pills for a simple headache. The first time I didn't feel anymore. The first time my light almost went out. The first time I went to therapy. That year wasn't the first time someone touched me without asking, but it was the first time I didn't tell anyone. They said that 97% of women have been sexually harassed, assaulted, or raped. I guess I'm a percentage now. The next year wasn't any better. 7th grade. This might have been the hardest. It started with more fake smiles, my light continuing to get dimmer and dimmer. Then came the panic attacks. When those happened, I thought I was dying. I spent most of that year in and out of hospitals, partial program twice, and inpatient once. That year was really hard. Reaching his hand under my skirt, rubbing my legs under the table in the lunchroom. I stayed quiet. 97%. My light dimmed even more. This was the first time I experienced a major death in my family. The first time the voices drove me to a panic attack. The second time I tried to overdose. The first time I put that blade to my wrist. The most cuts I've ever done. The numbest I've ever felt. The most broken I've ever felt. I still remember the looks on my friends' faces when they saw my arm. My arm covered in scars to my shoulder. Scratches, I called them. When someone asked what happened, I'll just blame it on my cat. My light continued to fade. More sharpeners got broken as more cuts were made. It only got worse and worse until I broke. My light finally went out. 8th grade. My light started coming back. It was very dim, barely a flicker, but it was back. Then he happened again, walking down the hallway with me. I was just trying to get back to class. You walked with me to the bathroom even though I told you to leave me alone. You waited in the nurse's office for me to come back. I was just trying to get to class. Leave me alone. Stop touching me. You grabbed me, touching me in ways that I didn't like. Please stop. I ran away, bursting into my classroom crying. Crying because I felt dirty. It's my fault, right? Maybe I didn't say it loud enough. Maybe I shouldn't have worn a skirt that day. Maybe I should have pushed harder. I told the counselors, of course. I didn't want to, though, because I thought they wouldn't do anything. Who knew I'd be right? They talked to us, of course. But did they do anything? Of course not. No suspension, no detention. Just a talking to. My light went back out that day. More cuts, more tears, no light. Winter break, 8th grade. My light has started to come back. It's brighter this time. My friends have been helping me, talking to me, protecting me, and loving me. They made me promise to stop cutting. The scars have started to heal. Some have disappeared completely. Some have scarred over. My light continues to grow every day. Present day. My light is way brighter now. Sometimes I break my promise, but it's not very often. Most of the scars have healed or disappeared. My light isn't as bright as it was, but it's good enough for me. I have bad days, but this is the best I've felt in years.